This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob. Oh, wait a second. Where's Rob?
Guess who's back? Back again. Pete's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Clearly an Eminem fan there, Pete. I wasn't prepared for this. I had no warning that you were coming in tonight, Pete. What's good?
Mike, I can't believe I'm back on this shitty bowling podcast in the middle of Sunday Night Football, but the USBC can't leave me alone, bothering me like I'm the Phillies Karen who just got a foul ball taken from her. You're Philly people, Mike.
The Philly Karen is in it deep right now. No question. If you folks didn't follow that story over the weekend, there was a woman who got a baseball, I feel, fairly taken from her at a Phillies game, and she went out of her way to go give the dude a piece of her mind, and the guy actually gave the ball back to her. Now, I feel like that speaks well for Philly fans. Pete, no?
Nah, he's soft. He's soft like me. He should have never gave that ball back.
They do say you're awful soft, Pete. This is what they say. But big news this week, Pete. Any thoughts on the new USBC ruling?
Mike, I'm such a G. They've been trying 5 years to get rid of me. The big minds at the USBC can't even figure it out. You heard? PBA and the USBC can't agree on what to do with me, like an old married couple fighting at a Bob Evans. Make up your mind already. First, the PBA sets it at 75D. Then the ABC sets it at 72D. Then it was 73D. Now it's 78D. Then they partially banned me. Shit, Mike, make up your mind. I feel like I'm asking my ex-girlfriend where she wants to eat and she can't decide.
It's a lot of D, Pete.
It's a lot of D, Mike. The USBC must like D. I don't know what to tell you.
That's a lot of D, bro.
They're changing D's. A lot of D's. Single D's, double D's, a lot of D's, Mike.
It's raining D's in here, bro.
Just a lot of D's going on.
I have to ask, how does it feel to be banned from the U.S. Open and the Masters and the PWBA?
Oh, the PWBA really bothers me, Mike. The ladies love me. I'm like the Brad Pitt of bowling balls. Lately in my old age, Mike, I'm getting softer as I age. Just like Ice Cube said, used to be hard, but my cover keeps getting soft. Let's not speak of the time in the 70s when my plastic ball brothers were getting experimented on and soaked on by Don McCune for a whole year. Ask about it. If you don't know, now you know. The U.S. Open and the Masters ban, they're scaring me, Mike. I live rent-free in their heads. You feel me? I spoke to my two-handed lefty kids because, they are my kids because I'm their daddy, Mike. They're panicking. They don't know what to do. Saw them all running to practice like crazy people on how to bowl on short patterns. It's a train wreck without me. I'm the only tool they got.
You work on everything, Pete.
I do. I'm very multitask. I can do everything, Mike.
So, all these rulings against you, you're banned from these events now. What's next for you, bro?
Still wrecking the house league patterns all over the world, Mike. I'm like Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, you heard? This isn't the last of me. I might be going out of production at the end of the year, but my 78 hardness cousins are still out there. I'm the one and only GOAT of the bowling balls. Believe that.
I just want to vibe with you for a minute, Pete.
Yeah. Take that. Can't hold me down. To us, to edge. I knew not to lose.
I mean, Pete, I don't know, man.
Can't hold me
I wish
down,
you
Mike.
the best, bro.
You can't hold me down.
I gotta say, it don't look good though. It don't look good, but I wish you the best. I do.
They can't hold me down, Mike.
I know. They can't hold you down. You're still around in some way. We hear you. We ride with you, Pete. We're with you, man. Be easy.
All right, Mike. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Listen, sweep the rack, son. You never know who's going to drop in around here. Okay? Multiple time guest. Pete the Purple Hammer. Multiple time guest. Yeah, obviously, Pete felt the need. Pete felt the need to come out, be heard himself. So he came here to sweep the rack, to share his thoughts with all of you. Obviously, I don't know where Rob is. Rob, if you're out there, we got a show going on. So I don't know what happened to Rob. I'm assuming he'll be back in a minute. But listen, you never know who's going to pop in around here on Sweep the Rack. Oh, Rob, what's good? Let me switch sides.
All right.
Oh, Rob's back.
Yo, I'm right next to my buddy here, Pete.
I see him. So I was gonna say I kind of recognized the background there. It looked like I was gonna ask him if he was at your crib. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's hanging out. We're hanging out today. He wanted to come on, so he stopped over. We had a couple beers. He's pissed, but
clearly.
I mean, he's just gonna sit in here for the rest of the show, hang out. He said, so he's good.
So, Rob, what's good, homie?
Yo, man, a lot of stuff going on, man. In a bowling off season, it feels like there's always something to talk about, man. It's the urethane stuff, man.
And what are we talking about yet again?
God, it just never
ends.
Again.
Just the topic. It's the topic that won't die. Seriously.
Yo, it just never ends. I mean, at this point, I'm over talking about it, but we can't be a bowling podcast if we weren't going to talk about it, right? I mean, this is a big deal in a sense, right? Like, I mean, at least to the level of bowling that we follow, but
is it though? Because and we're getting right into. Do you want to jump right into it, or?
Well, I mean, did you bowl league? Do you want to talk league first? Let's get in the league. Let's get it over with. Let's hear what you did.
No. Oh, listen. There is no league report. There is no league report. I'm sad to report that there is no league report.
Wow.
My team fell apart at the last minute. I don't even want to talk about it, honestly. I'm really upset about it.
Wait, so you're not bowling?
No, I don't know that I am. Now, there's a chance that by Tuesday I could find my way onto another team of some kind. But what happened was I had a team of 3 put together, or so I thought. One player dropped out on the Friday before the league started. Okay, so the league started last Tuesday. This person dropped out the Friday before. I spent all weekend trying to secure a third bowler. So I did. I found someone, former high school bowler of mine who has stayed in the game, ran into me last year at the sport league when he was getting a ball drill, told me, hey, I'd be interested in bowling this. Let me know about it next year. So I hit him up. I said, listen, a spot opened up on my team. If you're interested in jumping in, here's the details. I think, we can work it out. He said, okay, yeah, I'm in. So I hit up the original person who was on my team, right? Who was the 2 of us left. And then he tells me that he's out as well. Even though I found the third for us. He tells me that he doesn't want to bowl with that third person because he doesn't know them well enough. And honestly, like that was never mentioned to me in terms of a deal breaker. If I couldn't find somebody that we both knew on a personal level.
I don't know, does it make any sense? You know how many friends I've made from bowling with people that I didn't really barely know?
Well, the irony here, Rob, is that me and this guy became friends because we decided to join a league together. Right?
I know. What is that? Weird, right?
Know each other before, and then he did the guy, and I don't want to get too deeply into it, but he didn't even give me a chance to explain. He actually does know the guy that I got because the guy that I got has subbed for us in the past, but we've bowled this league for almost 10 years when it's been a team-based league. So this kid subbed with us, a while back, like when we needed a sub a couple times. So he actually has met him, and he does know him. To be honest with you, and again, I don't really want to get too deeply into it because this involves like personal stuff between me and other people. I'm heated about this. I'm going to tell you, I am 10 out of 10 heated over all this. In the end, I have to say that I either feel like the original guy that I was supposed to bowl with, who I bowled with for a long time, I kind of feel like he either A, didn't want to bowl the sport league anymore and didn't want to tell me, or didn't want to bowl with me anymore and didn't want to tell me.
Yeah, because, sounds like an excuse.
Yeah, just the way things unfolded, I can say that was pretty clear to me.
Okay,
that it's either one of those two. I just wish that had either person been more upfront with me about not wanting to bowl, I easily could have jumped on another team. I mean, even up to like a couple weeks ago, I had people that were hitting me up like, "Hey, you got a team solidified? You want to bowl?" I'm thinking, but yeah, I mean, this is another thing. This is one of the reasons I'm so heated about it. I text my original teammate, okay, on Sunday afternoon, and I said, "Hey, I got a third guy for us. He's going to be a great fit. He actually throws it better than the guy we had who quit, okay? Plan to be there 7 p.m. on Sunday, okay?" He calls me, the person calls me later that day, later on Sunday, has a conversation with me over the phone, doesn't mention anything about it. Labor Day goes by on Monday, doesn't mention anything about it, doesn't call me, doesn't text me, okay? Tuesday morning comes, and when I'm already in work, and this person knows what time I go into work, when I'm already in work, the person texts me and says, "Oh, hey, what's the plan for tonight?" And I said, "What do you mean? What's the plan? I already told you I got somebody to bowl with us. Show up at 7:00. And that's when they hit me with, "Oh, I don't think you understood what I said before. I said I didn't want to bowl with someone if I didn't know them." And then and a back and forth ensued about who said what, who texts what.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I'll be honest, I don't. My first day of work. It's my first day of work in 10 weeks. I don't have time to argue about this stuff. Like, I have so much better stuff to do than to argue and go back and forth about this nonsense. But here's what it meant. It meant that I didn't find out until 8:30 a.m. of the day that the league was starting at 7 p.m. that I didn't have a team. Okay. So I tried to scramble and find a third, like just random third. Hey, is there anybody showing up that night who doesn't have a team? Because I had two. I just needed a third. It didn't work out. There was no third. So
why don't you just bowl with a blind? I mean, you're just there to bowl anyway, right?
Well, because somebody's got to pay the money.
Yeah,
right? Somebody's got to pay that third spot. And listen, I not to say that I couldn't if I didn't want to, but do I really want to throw money out the window like that? I mean,
you probably could find somebody. I would ask the league. I would ask people in the league if they know someone. You could get somebody to bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I given enough time, I think that I could, but you'd definitely be putting yourself in a behind the eight ball, so to speak, in terms of the standings of the league and all that, which I don't really care about. I'm gonna be honest with you. I showed up last week. I brought a bowling ball and gave them a bowling ball to raffle off. I didn't end up bowling the league. So that's how I am. That's where I'm at. I'll support it whether as much as I can, however I can.
That's cool. What kind of ball is it?
It was a random track ball that somebody was nice enough to.
Was it purple? Wasn't a purple hammer? Was it?
No, it was not. It was not a purple hammer.
Trying to get rid of them.
So yeah. So listen, I'm still bent out of shape about it. I'm not gonna lie. I really am. I'm not even getting into. I know I got a little bit into it, but I'm not even getting into how bent out of shape I am about this. It goes so much deeper than what I'm even saying on this podcast. And yeah, I'm just really upset about it. I am. I'm really, really upset about it. I will probably end up bowling in some way. I don't know what that's going to look like just yet. I'll probably figure that out by tomorrow. But to be honest, I'm going to bowl just because I feel like I have to bowl because I promote this league so much and I try and get it running, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll be honest, I really don't want to bowl. I really don't want to. Like, I'm so soured by all this that went down and how it occurred. And I don't feel like being in this bowling center. I don't feel like seeing any of these people that were involved in this in these developments that I'm describing. But yeah, I had other people reach out to me and be like, "Yo, Hoss, like you got to come and bowl the league." So I'm going to see what I can do. If I can't bowl full time, I'll definitely make myself available to sub whenever I can. So yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at. I literally wish I had a league report for you, but I don't have a league report for you. So maybe next week we'll see.
Got it. Well, hopefully you can bowl. We all want to hear your league review every week.
Well, I know.
Most of the people.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I probably shouldn't even say this, and if I do bowl, we're gonna, we talked about this. We were actually going to try and create some content around my league bowling this year, right? I mean, that's one thing that we had discussed kind of moving forward with. And then, of course, when I'm ready and almost set up to make that happen, everything falls apart with me and bowling the league. So
we'll figure it out.
I just, It is what it is. Okay, let's move forward.
Okay. So I guess we have to get in the urethane, right? I mean, Christ, like, okay.
Well, let's get into this real quick. Let's get this out of the way real quick.
Okay.
PBA schedule.
Okay.
Okay, because we discussed that a couple weeks ago, right? We talked hypotheticals on what the schedule might look like, and information came out this week. I believe it was the clip I saw was Sean. I know it came out in a couple different ways, but the clip I saw was Sean Rash on the Down the Lane podcast, I believe it's called. Sorry, I forgot the name wrong on that. Discussing that the CW shows are going to be 10 consecutive weeks starting in February, right? And then the World Series of Bowling is going to be CBS Sports Network, and that's going to follow. Didn't give much more detail than that, but I think if there's any good news out of that, Rob, it's that it seems like they're going to avoid the bulk of the football season.
Yeah, which is what I asked for last week, remember? So yeah, I did see that clip, and I did hear that from Sean too. And it's tough to really even go through anything or know what's going on until we see the prize money. We see the tournaments. There's just so much what ifs, but and is that the start of the tour? Is there other stops before the CW stuff? Like, is there going to be, I don't know, a Bowl TV stops and stuff? You just don't know if that's the actual start of it or.
Didn't necessarily sound like it from what he said, but again, his comments could have been somewhat speaking about those two pieces of the schedule.
I mean, they could lead with the major like they did a couple years ago, right? They could lead with the Open, the US Open, which I hope they don't. I really don't want them to open with a major. For the bowling, for the bowlers themselves, I feel like leading off with a tournament like the US Open or the Masters is just, I don't know. You don't get the best of the bowler, I think. I think that's like still them shaking off a lot of the off-season rust and whatnot. So yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we hear in the next. I'm still assuming we're not going to hear anything until November in my mind, but you never know. It'll be right at the worst time for us, like when we don't have any like shows planned or something. The schedule will come out. So anyway, all right, Mike. Let's talk about the USBC announcement. So if you've been living under a rock in the bowling world and you didn't know, the USBC put a social media post as well as the article on their website on their USBC ruling and what their urethane research and their findings and all of that is going to end up looking like. And it's really confusing to a lot of people at first, right? I feel like you need to like really read through it a few times to really understand like how it affects one, you as a bowler, two, how it affects maybe you have kids bowling the JOG, or if you plan on bowling the US Open or the Masters. So what the USBC ended up ruling was that they're going to almost like go to like a complete ban on certain tournaments. They're going to be going to a 78D, pretty much stop the manufacturing of any urethane balls that aren't 70D, 78D, starting New Year's. So all of those balls that are not 78D will be out of production starting New Year. And your local leagues and tournaments are not going to be affected. But I'll read through the findings on the USBC so everybody knows and understands what's going on, and we're not giving any disinformation or anything. So what's not allowed, regardless of hardness, the US Open, the USBC Masters, the full PWBA Tour, national events including the US Women's Open and USBC Queens, and all PWBA regional events, the under-22 Masters and Queens, the USBC Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships, Nationals, the USA Bowling National Championships. So urethane is completely banned from those tournaments. Now, what is allowed, which would be a 78D hardness, would be the USBC Open Championships, the USBC Women's Open Championships, the Bowler Journal Championships, the USBC Senior Masters, USBC Senior Super Senior Classic, USBC Senior Queens, and the Youth Open Championships. Now, Junior Gold is a little bit weird, and I like to at least talk a little bit about this after I go through it. But restricted use for qualifying only, Junior Gold Championships, 78D slow oil absorbing high performance balls will be allowed for qualifying only, beginning with match play and through the finals. No slow oil absorbing high performance balls, regardless of harness, will be allowed. So essentially what it's saying is that Junior Gold, you're allowed to throw a 78D high performance balls is what they're calling them for qualifying only. And then when you get into match play and through the finals, urethane will be banned. Okay. And then no change, zero change. Go and do what you want to do. Team USA trials, the USBC collegiate sectional and regular season college events, Junior Gold qualifiers, USA Bowling Regionals, USBC Senior Championships, USBC Youth Scratch Championships, the 40 frame game, and the Survivor Tournament. So, I don't know, thoughts, Mike? You want me to go through some of what the key issues they were trying to address? It's what
Sure.
they highlighted in the article. Lane pattern integrity, competitive fairness, player development concerns, and the governance and integrity challenges were the four issues there. And we talked about this weeks ago, probably 3-4 weeks ago, when they put out the article on the research. And, you know, there's a lot of confusion in some of the rules here. And I guess I want to talk about JOG first of all. That's what I want to get into first. And I'm going to ask you a question because I was asking this to myself and I couldn't come up with an answer. Why not just ban the urethane from the full tournament? Like, why let the kids use it at the qualifying for the Junior Gold and have them bring the urethanes with them, travel with them, fly with them, drive with them, let them use them in qualifying, let them, crush these patterns with these urethane balls during qualifying, and then when they get to the match play in the finals, ban them. I just don't that's the one thing I don't understand.
Me either. I don't. If you're waiting for me to give you an answer on that, there's going to be a lot of silence on this podcast, Hoss, because I do not have an answer for you on that.
Okay. Do you have any speculation of like what they were trying to do there, or like what they were thinking?
No idea. Makes zero sense to me. Do not understand it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand a partial ban at all.
Right.
I mean, to me, you either ban it or you allow it. I don't see a lot of gray area in this issue, right?
So I can understand them allowing it at the local qualifiers for the junior kids, right? Qualifying at their local bowling
No,
centers.
why would you do that? Like, if
Because-
you're not going to be able to use it in the actual event, why would you allow them to use it in a qualifier? Then what you're going to get is you're going to get a bunch of kids who qualified using urethane and go out to the actual tournament and stink because they can't use what they're comfortable with, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so that's the one thing that I don't understand. So maybe one day we'll have some guests on that we can ask those questions and get those answers.
Again, to me, there's not a lot of gray area in this issue, but what the USBC has successfully done here is created that gray area. I mean, to me, like, that's a lot of what these rulings do here is they just create more confusion and more gray area. Detroit Signal in the chat, not a name I recognize. What's up, Detroit? Says, it's so stupid. It represents our sport perfectly. Love that comment, bro. Agree with you 100%. I mean, that's a big part of my take on this is that, man, if there's any issue that represents in a microcosm why bowling is in the position that it's in, I feel very strongly that it's this urethane debate, right? And this urethane issue. I also want to say that we've already gotten word, Rob. We have already gotten word through players on the PBA Tour that the PBA Tour will not be making any changes. The PBA Tour will not be adopting any of these new rules.
Well, what was my response to you when you told me that?
You told me, oh, yeah, I never even thought there was a chance they would.
You know why? Because they already did their research. They already did their findings. They already made their rule change when they made all the players, get 78D specs on the urethanes, and they gave the manufacturers a chance to produce those balls, and they did, and we saw that happen, and the players are using them now. Imagine if after they made the companies do all of that, they went back a year later and told the manufacturers of the bowling ball companies, oh yeah, remember those 78 urethanes that we made you guys go to specs? Well, now we're just going to ban them because the USBC. And just from doing some research, the USBC and the PBA have never really been on the same page when it comes to a lot of these rule speculations, and even specifically the hardness level. The hardness level, the PBA was at one level. Even back years ago, the USBC was at a certain level. When the USBC made those changes, it just seems like they're not on the same level. And even Pete agreed with me. Pete called them an old couple fighting at Bob Evans, Mike. And it's amazing, though, that the Professional Bowls Association can't get on the same page or this aligned on the same level as the United States Bowling Congress. I mean, a national governing body, Mike. And it's interesting. And we knew that there was some weird stuff going on when the PBA brought in their own research people and did their own testing, which is weird. But now we see a lot of the differences. I mean, the pros are going to be throwing urethane 78s most all year. And then when they go to US Open and the USBC Masters, they're not going to be able to throw it. So it's just interesting how it's kind of all over the place at the present moment.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And that's two of the majors on the PBA Tour, right? There's two of the majors where you're not going to be able to throw urethane, and then there'll be majors where you can throw urethane. So, like I said, it just creates more confusion.
It is. And so I'm going to get into a little bit more on some of the reasons why I wanted to see urethane completely banned. I got a lot of crap for it, and some of the reels that I posted, we can, a little bit hint, worst of the week. Man, I got name called. I got all kinds of bad stuff said to me. And one of the issues was the soaking problem, right? And the USBC addressed that in a video that they made. And the video, if you haven't seen it, I know Jeff Riggles posted it yesterday to watch it. It's a very, very good watch. It's about 25 minutes of just kind of understanding, I guess, the USBC's thought process behind a lot of this stuff. The one thing that I did find very, very interesting that I didn't know until I watched the video was, one, when you soak these balls in those chemicals that make the urethanes softer, the urethanes themselves drop significantly in hardness. So if the ball, let's just say, was at a 78, or let's just say Purple Hammer was at a 72, sorry, Pete, and you soak it, it can get as low as a 30 on the scale on testing, Mike. And they even talked about the adjustment that you have to make comparatively throwing a 72 HD from a 30. Mike, it's almost a 20 board difference throwing the same ball if you were to soak that ball in a chemical overnight, right? And here's the crazy part that I didn't know, and I don't know, a lot of people don't know this. Eventually, that urethane ball that you soaked 2-3 weeks later goes back up to the hardness that it was at before you soaked it. So what happened when the college bowling, when those kids got caught soaking, the only reason they got caught soaking was because they admitted it. Because the USBC couldn't test those balls because they were weeks later and those balls were already back to their original hardness. So that's a huge issue for the USBC, because imagine doing something illegal and then you find out about it, and then the USBC has to literally get that ball and test it within like a week or two of that happening, and you still are not going to get the correct results. So that's the one issue. And if you want to watch that video, it's a really good informative. The second part of it is, I know I've heard comments in the section of people in reels and videos talk about, well, why can't you just soak a reactive resin ball and have the same advantage? Here's the crazy part, right? So what the USBC said in their video is that if you soak a resin ball, you only are gaining about 1 to 2 maybe additional boards of hook. It doesn't really affect the reactive resin balls. It really makes them less vulnerable to the soaking than a urethane ball. So they don't have that problem when it comes to reactive resin.
Did we lose you, Rob, or did we lose me?
So I just want to. Yep. Sorry, I lost you.
I didn't know if it was you or me. I wasn't sure.
It was me this time. Yeah, it was me this time.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay. So is that enough of the conversation? I mean, the only other thing I want to throw out there in terms of not seeing this change at the PBA level is that neither of us were really surprised about that, because there's also a lot of money involved in the money exchange between the PBA Tour and the ball companies, right? So you definitely don't expect the ball companies or you don't expect the PBA to do something that's going to take more money, I should say, out of the pocket of the ball companies. So not really surprising there either.
Yeah, I didn't think the PBA was going to do it. I wanted to see the PBA do it fully. I did. I would love to just see it happen, and like to see these pros adjust to it. This year I'm going to be very more interested in seeing the U.S. Open results and the Masters results, and to see who bowls well and who doesn't. Right. That's, to me, is going to be interesting. The other thing that I want to bring up, Mike, before we move on from this topic is the interesting quote or conversation that was had with Nick Hoagland in that video. And Nick Hoagland is the lead on designing the lane patterns, right? And I remember like specifically you talking about lane patterns, right? And how they can adjust lane patterns and they could do all these things to lane patterns that would effectively take the urethane out of play, right? And the one thing that I found interesting that Nick was talking about was it seems like they're out of ideas or they're out of ways to try to create pattern integrity, like so that urethane doesn't affect these patterns, right? They're out of what he called tricks, right? They're out of tricks of trying to find pattern like to keep the patterns the same and consistent. And the urethanes just do so much damage to these lane patterns that I guess what's happening with the lane pattern integrity is that they're designing these patterns with an idea of how they're going to score, like where they're going to play, right? Like they're trying to, in a way, I guess, dictate that, right, from the lane patterns they put out. And the urethanes are completely and utterly just butchering the pattern, and they're making these patterns completely like opposite of what they're trying to do. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting how if Nick Hoagland, the guy's an expert at this field, right? The guy's been doing this 20, 25 years. I've known him since college bowling, a friend of mine, smart guy, right? Been doing it a really long time. And if he says that they're running out of things to create pattern and fairness and integrity, I mean, you got to listen to him, no, Mike? I mean, you know, for someone who's doing this his career, right?
And listen, I'm no expert. I always defer to the experts, but I do have to say, and you know, Charlie Tat, what's up, Charlie? He's in the chat saying, quit putting 34 mils on the lanes. And I agree with you, Charlie. I don't know. I hear all this talk about the lane conditions and the urethane, but it seems to me that in this urethane era, they have consistently, and when I say that, I mean the people coming up with the lane patterns, doing the lanes, have consistently increased the volume of oil on the lane. And what has that done? It has seemed to only worsen the problem or make the problem more obvious. I'll say, I don't know if it's worsened it, but it's made the problem more obvious as time has gone on, right? And I don't know. They've never gone the other direction of taking oil off the lane, doing less oil on the lane and seeing, you know, what the impact of that might be. So again, not an expert, but just something that I wouldn't mind seeing.
Is there a specific reason why they're using that all of those mills? I don't know. I mean, is it just because of reactive resin?
I'm not sure. I am not an expert. I would imagine that it has to do with having enough, even with those volumes, you see where guys are playing, right? So if they, you know, I guess the thinking is if we do less, then it's the angles that they're going to have to play on the lane are going to become too extreme.
Yeah, and I think there's some valid points in the chat. Louis Gaudio says they don't want lofting. That could be the case. It could be from reactive resin. It could from all the Abralon pads that are getting used on tour and as well as like high competitive tournaments. I mean, that's all you see is ball reps hitting balls with Abralon pads, right? I mean, it's pretty common on the tour and high level bowling tournaments. So, I mean, yeah, like reactive resin could be creating the problem where they need more mills because these balls are just absorbing more oil and then I don't know, like I'm not a technical expert at any of this either. I'm kind of learning as I go the last few years, like with all this specs and urethane and mills and all this like stuff. So it's kind of for a regular bowler, you know, it's not gonna really like affect me as a bowler who, if I'm bowling a regular league every week, maybe a local tournament, and maybe the USBC Open Championships, you'd have to drill a 78D. But starting New Year's, you're not even going to be able to drill a purple hammer or a ball that's under 78 specs. So eventually they're just going to kind of phase out, I think, years from now, which is also the other interesting part too, Mike. The Purple Hammer is like officially done. So I would probably get your hands on as many blanks as you can right now, because
it is, but it's not, because you can still use it in certain situations. You still use it in league.
You can.
Brunswick can still sell it. I mean, we didn't even get in this conversation.
No, but
the letter that Brunswick put out, and
they have to stop making them though. New Year's, Mike. That's what I'm trying to say. They're going to be out of production.
All right.
So eventually they're going to be out of production.
See that ball?
What?
You're still going to see that ball.
You're going to see that ball, but it's going to be. I'm talking like years from now. They're gonna start being phased out, because I mean, what happens when you stop producing? People, they drill them, and then you're gonna end up getting resold and replugged, and then people are gonna have blanks, and then they're gonna hold on to them because like they stopped producing them. So, but the one thing that makes me kind of just want to tell everybody is, like, a lot of people that are getting really angry about this topic or annoyed about this topic are really doesn't affect them. I really feel like it affects really a small percentage of the bowlers out there in just general, right? Like it really only affects the PWBA, right? Which I think that is something too we need to talk about, because the PWBA that's a full ban, Mike. But so in my opinion, that affects a lot of the two-handed women bowlers, right? That are coming up now, right? I think that is something that hasn't been really talked about. And it affects the USBC Open Championships, like I said, and it affects all the tournaments we named that had the fully banned. But in reality, if you're bowling leagues and local tournaments, it really doesn't affect you. It's just kind of one of the things that they did at the highest level.
Yeah, and I think to kind of wrap this conversation up for now anyway, I'm sure this is not the last conversation we'll have about this topic, but just in the interest of moving forward, one of my main takeaways from this is just the confusion, right? So you have the USBC saying, at the higher levels of the game, we don't want this equipment being used. Sometimes. Okay. Other times, like, it's okay for a professional. Like, are you allowed to use it at the USBC Open Championships?
You're allowed to use 78D.
Okay. So you can use 78D at the Open Championships, right? And it's okay for a professional to show up to that event and have access to that equipment and use it. But then on the other side, you have the PBA saying, oh, well, it's okay for professionals of that level to have access to it consistently across the board, right? So now you have these two major organizations in the game that are in some way at least at odds with each other, right, in what they're doing here. And again, just the confusion and the cloudiness that creates is something that I look at as a major takeaway from this.
Yeah, I want to read a comment, because someone in the comment is saying to read the post again because they are going to be manufacturing them, and I disagree. Let me read it, Mike. Make sure that everybody's on the same page as this. Effective December 31st, slow oil absorbing high performance bowling balls with oil absorption times over 90 minutes must be at least a 78D hardness to be USBC approved for sale in the United States. Bowling balls with an oil absorption time greater than 90 minutes and featuring high performance cores will be subject to the new approval specification. Entry-level reactive balls and balls with non-high performance cores will not be subject to the specification. So am I wrong, Mike? You can't make a Purple Hammer after December 31st, because there's no way a Purple Hammer is going to be at 78D, right? Unless they develop a 78D Purple Hammer, which they haven't yet. Read the next paragraph. Okay. Previously approved slow absorbing high performance balls under 78D will remain on the USBC approved ball list. These models, while limited in the USBC national events, can still be manufactured for use in certified leagues and tournaments that choose to allow them.
That's what I read. That's why I said what I said. Like, you're still going to see this ball, right? It's, again, more cloudiness, more confusion. Like no, you can't use them, but they can still produce them because they can still be used over here at the lower levels, but they can't be used at the higher levels unless you meet these stipulations. I mean, it's ridiculous. Honestly.
Okay, so no, I was wrong, Tobias. I appreciate correcting me. I was under the impression that it was going to be they were going to stop making them, but I guess I didn't read that sentence or skimmed over it, so I apologize.
Well, I mean, reason that last paragraph kind of goes against reason. Like, why would you be making these changes, but then grandfather in the old equipment? And I understand that it's only at certain levels. I get that, and those levels are probably the least significant levels for where this equipment is having an effect. So I understand that that's at play in this situation, but those ideas are kind of opposite of each other.
Yeah, it also like puts a huge asterisk when people are using it in like local tournaments, in my opinion. Like, I don't know really. Okay, so this ball is banned from using at the USBC Masters. Okay, you're banning a bowling ball from the USBC Masters because of all of the things they talked about: the oil, the softness, the lane pattern integrity. They also talked about being a crutch in a way, right? For not letting the juniors. They're pretty much getting. They're using purple hammers all the time. They're not really learning how to bowl. They're not growing. I've also said that weeks ago that I felt that way too. But then if you go to a local tournament, you're bowling like a local, let's just say, I don't know, sports scratch tournament, right? And which I'll frequent, you'll go, and someone averages 250 with a purple hammer, right? Or whatever, and wins the tournament running away with it. It's just so like one tournament's allowing this ball that is illegal at the USBC Masters, and you can't use it there, but you could use it at a local tournament. It's all over the place, Mike. And then are you driving home going, man, like that lefty two-hander with a purple hammer completely ran me over, but in reality, like, did he really beat me because he's using a ball that's not even allowed at the Masters? And if I really want to be a villain and I really want to be cold, when this person posts his Facebook award announcement that he won the sport shot tournament, now it gives ammo to people that maybe don't like this person or jealous, social media, keyboard warriors, to now go and comment on this person saying that he didn't really win because he was using a ball that's illegal at the Masters. And it puts an asterisk. And now it's just kind of like making more, I don't know, adding fuel to the fire and a lot of stuff that really shouldn't be like that. So I don't know. Just kind of a thought, Mike.
Very true. And there's a lot of other questions here that we didn't get to, right? That we just don't have the time to get into tonight. And that's why I said I don't think this will be the last conversation that we have about this issue. But with that said, Rob, are you ready to keep it moving and wrap it up for the people, or what?
Yeah. Do you want to go worst of the week, or you got anything you want to talk about?
No, let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Like, there's a few good points that I see people bringing up that could be part of this discussion that we're just not going to get to. Like Lou saying, is the problem urethane or urethane wrapped around a very low RG high differential? A couple people earlier mentioned, what about this terminology of low or slow oil absorption dynamic balls, or whatever that quote was, right? People were saying, dig into that, right? And what's the meaning of that? A couple people mentioning, this doesn't impact 99% of bowlers. And, I sort of get that. But at the same time, because of again, I'm going to go back to the confusion that this creates, right? I think that's why it's something that we take the time to touch on here. But all right, Rob, you got a worst of the week. What do you got? You want me?
I'm just going to talk in general. I'll go first because I'm just going to talk in general. So I put up a reel 4 weeks ago when we were having this discussion about urethane, and I made a comment that I believe that they are going and should ban the urethane balls from the highest level. And I named the tournaments in the reel, Mike, the US Open, the Masters, Junior Gold, and I wasn't that far off, right? I really wasn't. I had an idea, right? I think where the USBC was going. You just from talking to people, having an idea of like more what's going on out there. And Mike, the comments that were directed towards me were unbelievable because I really didn't read a lot of them because of the fact where like these people are nuts. I got called a douchebag, an idiot, a moron. Do I even bowl? We should be banned. And it's crazy, like, because people, they watch these reels and they get so emotional about the topic that you're talking about. And these emotions, they feel like that they can make these comments and that one, maybe you'll never respond to it. Two, they don't care because you're just behind a keyboard, whatever. And to those people that were making fun of me, someone called me, asked me if I was on crack on the comments. I was right. I was right about 85% of what I said on that reel. And now I'm going back on those comments and I'm replying to them. Hey, yeah, I was right, wasn't I? Like, oh, I was on crack. I must have been real high when I was talking about it. So like, yeah, like, yo, like I don't respond to a lot of that stuff. I don't have the time to, but today football, sitting around, I'm like, you know what? Let me see what the comments were saying, because there was about 120 comments on the reel. And man, that I get just completely shit on, Mike, for a topic that I ended up being right about. So those worst of the week goes to all those haters, all those people in those comments that thought I was just some dude on the internet talking out of my ass, and I wasn't. So yeah, so I got the last laugh. That's my worst of the week.
You feel like you got the last laugh on them in that?
When you comment if I'm on crack or I should be banned for something that you end up being right about 4 weeks later, yeah, I think so. I mean, okay, they were mad. I wasn't.
Okay. All right, no doubt. Here's my worst of the week. I hope I didn't do this one already, because I have some lined up in my phone. So if I did this one already, stop me and let me know.
Okay.
I'll go to another one. This one comes from the Motive Bowling Facebook page. Okay. And it's Richard Moreland.
Okay. Imagine winning two worst of the weeks for the same worst of the week.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one is actually, it might be deserving of a double worst week if it is repeat. He says the following: "Hello, Motive. I feel like I got to clarify what I posted earlier. I feel some took it wrong. I was looking to see if someone could sell me a Primal Ghost after it comes out next month, after it comes out at possible at a lower price. If not, it's okay. I was not asking for anyone to do anything illegally. I have deleted the post, and I apologize to anyone I offended."
Wait, so he was, okay, clarify this for me. He was asking for someone to do what?
He was asking for someone to sell him a Primal Ghost,
a new release,
after it comes out next month. At possibly a lower price.
A lower price of what he's getting in the pro shop, essentially? Why? Where's the entitlement here? Like,
I don't know.
Does
this dude not know about patch pirate statuses? Is he unaware? My guy, Richard, it's very easy to get on Moda's Patch Pirate staff. Very easy. You jump right on there. You won't have to pay anything.
Dak, we appreciate it, man. Look at that 99 cents. I like it.
Don't send us money, Dak.
Yo, hey, send us all money. We appreciate it, Dak, man. Thank you.
That's my worst of the week.
Lord. All right, Mike. You ready to wrap this up?
Let's do it. Kevin in the chat is saying, "Are we going to talk about the tattoo?"
Yeah,
I
posted on our Facebook.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, someone got a. I'm not going to use this worst of the week because thinking about it, the tattoo wasn't actually that bad. It was the Gremlin, the new Gremlin the bowling ball, and the person got a tattoo of the Gremlin just on their wrist, and it's actually not a bad tattoo. And the reason why I posted it is because anytime you get a tattoo of a bowling ball logo or any kind of bowling logo on your body, I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not. You look, I'm not hating on it. I've seen some pretty cool bowling tattoos, but I'm not going to get a company logo tattoo. I'm not going to get the company I work for, Mike. I'm not getting their company tattooed on me, because you never know when they're going to go out of business or they're going to leave, whatever. But let me ask you while we're on this topic real quick. If you were to get a bowling ball tattoo of any bowling ball that was ever made that would permanently be on your body when you die 50 years from now, what bowling ball would you get a tattoo of? A logo. And I'm putting this to the comments too. What bowling ball would you get a tattoo of? A purple hammer. Everyone's like a purple hammer.
I don't know. That's such a good question. It's a tough question for a long time bowler to answer, isn't it?
You know what I would get?
And this is going to sound so strange, I guess, coming out of nowhere. But Triton Heat.
Ooh.
Just because it was probably the best ball ever for me. Like, whatever that ball was, that ball matched up with my game better than any ball I ever threw, ever.
So, Skid, you're talking the old Columbia logo, I'm imagining, because that's what your icon is. Not the new Columbia logo, for sure. Mine would be the first logo that came to mind when I brought this question up to myself was the Piranha Sea.
Okay.
And I wouldn't get the name. I would just get the actual fish. I wouldn't get the Piranha Sea on me. It would just be the picture of the fish, the Piranha Sea.
Rhino Pro is a classic.
Good one.
Rhino Pro is a classic.
Yeah. No Akuda would be cool.
Zone would be classic.
Zone. Yeah. I mean, there's a few. How about the U2? That would be interesting. Remember the U2? U2 was a good ball. That was the one they released after, obviously, the Black U-Dot and all the other ones. But all right. Well, all right, Mike. We're ready to get this going. I know you got a late night tonight. And
yeah. I've had quite the day today, to be honest with you. My final thought is shout to Sean Rash.
I was going to bring it up. You see how he did it?
What else do you want me to say? Dude's been on the show multiple times. We both speak to him outside the show. We've known him for a very long time. He's had a rough go of it lately. And he went over to Europe and he won the Lucky Larson Masters. So it was great to see that. I actually got to catch some of the finals of that. So
thoughts on how he was playing the pattern?
Yeah, it was crazy, and he actually got hurt in the final match, and he had to really limp to the finish line there, and it was great to see. It was great to see, and honestly, from our show, I just want to say, Sean, congrats, bro. Way to come back, way to hold your head high, and carry yourself out there. you know.
And I did post on Facebook. I thought it was kind of funny that it was Storm was the official sponsor of the Lucky Larson tournament, and the CEO had to present it to Sean, and I know that had to make him feel a little bit good after how he ended up leaving Storm, right, in Global, how that all ended. So
rightfully so, yeah.
You know, sometimes the most motivation you need is to put it to chop some. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers today, right? I mean, no better motivation than to put it back on a team that released you, right? Or what you got.
I didn't see any. I barely saw any football today. What happened with Rodgers against the Jets? Did he?
He threw for 4 touchdowns, 250 yards. They beat us. They beat us by like 2 points. Fields,
they only won the game by 2 points, and he threw for 4 touchdowns.
35-33 or something like that. Fields had an amazing day. He actually looked good, but we could talk football for another hour. But yeah, watch the highlights. It was a pretty good game. It was a wild game. Okay. Fumble really cost us, though. Anyway, yeah, it was a good day of football. A lot of lost all my fantasy matchups. Lost the Jets.
No one cares about your fantasy. All right, let's go. Let's wrap it up.
All right, let's go.
Let's wrap it up.
All right, go for it.
We appreciate everybody joining us. We appreciate everybody coming out. We'll likely be back next week.
Yes, and I think we might have some guests on. And I'm going to be. Yes, I'm going to be. I'm actually going to be out of town, but for this guest, I am going to probably log on at my friend's house. I'm going to a wedding. I'm going to be out of state flying next weekend. So there will be a chance I will be somewhere different, but I will log on for this specific guest to come on.
Okay.
I will let people know during the week what time, and for sure.
No doubt. Check us out on social media. We do most of our conversation on X. He's at BrooklynRob11. I'm at the 215th. Email us if you want. If you want to reach out, we love getting emails from the people. sweeptherack@gmail.com. If you're looking for merch, if you want to grab a Sweep the Rack shirt, get one of our shirts that we designed ourselves, you can go over to InsideBowling.com. Content creators, Sweep the Rack. Use the code PatchPirate. Save 15% on your order. Pete the Purple Hammer, thanks for joining us tonight. The always hated, never imitated, never duplicated Pete the Purple Hammer. We love it. So
you all suck.
Pete, come on, be easy on us, bro. All right, folks, thanks for joining us. We hope we had a little fun tonight while also providing some informative information. Folks, I hope I'm bowling league next week. I'll talk to you guys later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.